From being a fangirl singing Enchanted in her dorm room to sitting next to Swift at NFL games, Clark's journey is more significant than you think. Alright, I'm happy for Caitlin Clark, right? We all know how big a fan she is of Taylor Swift. She went to the concerts, she shared the stories, she's shared her favorite song, she sung the songs. The moment that broke the internet started like any other January day at Arrowhead Stadium. But when Caitlin Clark walked into that luxury suite, little did anyone know they were about to witness something that would send shockwaves through both sports and pop culture. There she was, the WNBA's hottest rookie, sitting next to none other than Taylor Swift herself. She was on Travis Kelce's podcast. They talked about linking up at some point, and it has happened. We have seen the link up that so many have anticipated. Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift paint the picture of what went down on January 18th, 2025. The Kansas City Chiefs were facing the Houston Texans in a crucial playoff game, but honestly, the real show wasn't even on the field. In that luxury box, two of the most influential women in their respective fields were about to give us a masterclass in authentic friendship. You should have seen them together. It wasn't your typical celebrity photo op. Clark and Swift were genuinely vibing, acting like they'd been friends forever. When Travis Kelce made that jaw-dropping 49-yard reception, both of them jumped out of their seats, completely lost in the moment. No pretense, no forced interactions, just pure, unfiltered excitement. Putting it back, considering the star power, perhaps the two most famous women in America right now, in Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark, sitting together at an NFL game, which I've said all the time, the NFL is the single most popular thing. And when Kelce scored that 11-yard touchdown, the suite erupted. Swift and Clark were hugging, cheering, and celebrating like any other die-hard Chiefs fans. It was the kind of genuine moment you can't script, and social media couldn't get enough of it. Within minutes, Caitlin and Taylor was trending worldwide. Here's what makes this story so special. It's not just about two famous people hanging out at a football game. It's about the incredible journey that led to this moment. Remember when Clark was just another college student at Iowa, recording herself singing Enchanted in her dorm room? She was literally all of us, belting out Swift's lyrics while dreaming of meeting her idol. Those dorm room singing sessions weren't just random moments of fandom. For Clark, Taylor Swift's music was the soundtrack to her rise in basketball. She'd blast Shake It Off before games, use Fearless as motivation during practice, and connect with teammates over their shared love of Swift's music. It was more than just being a fan, it was part of her identity. Flash forward to November 2024, and Clark's taking her Swift fandom to a whole new level. She hit up not one, but two consecutive nights of the Eras Tour at Lucas Oil Stadium. We're talking full Swiftie mode here, trading friendship bracelets. She collected 20 in one night, singing every word to every song and soaking up every moment of the experience. The best part? Clark's Instagram stories from those concerts were pure gold. She was living her best life, completely uninhibited by her growing basketball fame. One post showed her screaming along to Love Story with her mom, who, by the way, Clark claims she turned into a full Swiftie. Another captured her reaction when opening act Gracie Abrams took the stage, pure, unfiltered joy. But night two? That's when things got really interesting. Clark found herself in the same section as Travis Kelce. Talk about a small world, right? She later joked about it on the New Heights podcast. I had so many friendship bracelets up my arm, I thought I was losing circulation. It was a perfect example of how Clark, despite her rising star status, was still just as authentically enthusiastic about being a Swift fan as she'd always been. What's truly remarkable is how Clark's relationship with Swift's music evolved alongside her basketball career. During her college days at Iowa, her teammates would often catch her humming "Don't Blame Me" during practice. It became such a known part of her personality that reporters would ask about her favorite Swift songs during press conferences. And Clark? She'd answer without hesitation, proudly owning her Swiftie status. Remember that viral TikTok from her college days? The one where she's in the Iowa locker room, using a water bottle as a microphone, performing "You Belong With Me" for her teammates. That video racked up millions of views, not just because it was Clark being goofy, but because it showed this incredible athlete in such a relatable light. Here was one of college basketball's biggest stars, acting just like any other 22-year-old Swift fan. But Clark's Swift fandom took on new meaning as her own star began to rise. As she started breaking college basketball records and drawing unprecedented attention to women's basketball, people started drawing parallels between her impact on sports and Swift's impact on music. Both women were breaking records, challenging norms, and bringing new audiences to their respective fields. The moment everything changed was during the Eras tour stop in Indianapolis. Clark wasn't just another face in the crowd anymore. She was the Caitlin Clark. But you wouldn't know it from how she acted. She was dancing, singing, and trading friendship bracelets like everyone else. But then, something special happened. Swift's team sent over 4 bags of merchandise and a handwritten note from Taylor herself, calling Clark inspiring. Talk about a full circle moment. The girl who used to sing Swift songs in her dorm room was now being called inspiring by her idol. But here's the thing. Clark handled it with the same genuine enthusiasm she'd always shown. On social media, she shared her excitement like any other fan would, complete with capital letters and multiple exclamation points. No pretense, no playing it cool, just pure, unfiltered joy. As Clark entered the WNBA as the first overall pick, her connection to Swift became even more significant. Both women were breaking viewership records, selling out venues, and changing the game in their respective fields. When Clark's college games started outdrawing some NBA matchups, people started calling her the Taylor Swift of basketball, a comparison that made Clark both proud and humble. This brings us back to that January day at Arrowhead Stadium. When Clark and Swift were spotted together, it wasn't just a photo op. It was the culmination of years of genuine fandom, mutual respect, and parallel journeys. The internet wasn't just buzzing because 2 famous people were hanging out. It was buzzing because this felt like watching a dream come true in real time. Social media exploded with side-by-side photos. Clark singing Swift's songs in her dorm room next to her sitting with Swift at the Chiefs game. The caption that kept appearing, "How it started" versus "How it's going." It was the perfect encapsulation of Clark's journey from fan to peer, from singing Swift's songs to sharing the spotlight with her. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of this story is how it's inspiring a new generation. Young athletes watching Clark weren't just seeing a basketball star, they were seeing someone who remained authentically themselves while reaching the top of their game. They were seeing that you don't have to choose between being a serious athlete and an enthusiastic fan of pop culture. You can be both. Throughout every interaction, every social media post, and every shared moment, what shines through is the authenticity of it all. Clark never tried to play it cool or downplay her fandom once she became famous herself. She remained that same enthusiastic Swiftie who used to sing in her dorm room. She just happened to become one of basketball's biggest stars along the way. As the first part of this amazing story unfolds, it's clear that this isn't just about a famous athlete and a pop star becoming friends. It's about staying true to yourself, about dreams coming true in the most spectacular way, and about the power of authentic fandom. The best part? This is just the beginning of what promises to be an incredible friendship between 2 of the most influential women in entertainment and sports. The impact of Clark and Swift's friendship extends far beyond that viral moment at Arrowhead Stadium. What happened next would reshape the landscape of women's sports and create a cultural shift nobody saw coming. Let's dive into how this unlikely duo is changing the game, literally. Remember when everyone thought the Clark-Swift connection would just be a one-time thing? Well, they couldn't have been more wrong. Just weeks after their Chiefs game appearance, Swift showed up at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for Clark's home debut with the Indiana Fever. And she didn't just show up. She came decked out in Fever gear, sitting courtside with Travis Kelce. The moment Swift walked into that arena, social media exploded. Ticket prices for Fever games immediately shot through the roof. We're talking about resale values that rivaled some NBA games. The WNBA hadn't seen anything like it since Brittany Griner's return to the court. But this was different. This was pop culture and sports colliding in a way that would change everything. But here's what makes this story even more incredible. Swift didn't just come for one game. She became a regular at Fever home games, often bringing along celebrity friends. Suddenly, Gainbridge Fieldhouse wasn't just a basketball arena, it was the place to be. The same way Swift made Chiefs games the hottest ticket in town, she was now doing the same for the WNBA. Let's talk numbers for a second. The Fever's social media following jumped by 500% in just 1 month. Their merchandise sales broke records, with Clark's jersey becoming the fastest-selling rookie jersey in WNBA history. But it wasn't just about sales and followers. Something bigger was happening. Young girls were showing up to games wearing friendship bracelets along with their basketball jerseys. They were holding signs that mixed basketball stats with Swift lyrics. "Fearless on the court" and "Look what you made her do" became common sights in the stands. The crossover between Swifties and basketball fans created a whole new kind of sports culture. Clark, meanwhile, was handling her rookie season with the same authenticity that marked her college career. During post-game interviews, she'd casually drop Swift lyrics into her answers, much to the delight of fans. After a particularly impressive three-pointer, she mimicked Swift's heart hands gesture, a moment that instantly went viral. But the real magic happened off the court. Swift and Clark started collaborating on community initiatives, combining their star power to promote women's sports. They launched a mentorship program for young female athletes, with Swift providing the platform and Clark bringing the basketball expertise. It was a partnership that nobody expected but everybody needed. The impact on the WNBA was unprecedented. Television ratings skyrocketed. Other teams started seeing increased attendance. The league's popularity among younger fans exploded. What began as a friendship between two stars became a catalyst for change in women's sports. Remember those empty seats at WNBA games? They became a thing of the past, at least for the Fever. Every home game turned into an event, with fans arriving hours early just to soak in the atmosphere. The pre-game playlist, all Taylor Swift naturally, with Clark's favorite songs getting prime spots in the rotation. Social media couldn't get enough of their friendship. When Swift released her next album, she included a line about shooting threes like my friend from the Midwest. Fans went wild, trying to decode every possible basketball reference. Clark, in turn, would recreate Swift's album covers during game warm-ups, sending both basketball and music fans into a frenzy. Their influence extended beyond just basketball and music. Together, they became powerful advocates for women in sports. When Clark spoke about equal pay in the WNBA, Swift amplified her message to her massive platform. When they appeared together on magazine covers, they used the opportunity to discuss the importance of supporting women's athletics. The friendship also humanized both stars in unexpected ways. Swift would share stories about trying and failing to learn basketball from Clark. Clark would post videos of Swift attempting to teach her choreography. These genuine, often humorous moments showed two successful women supporting each other while staying true to themselves. Even the skeptics had to admit, this wasn't just another celebrity friendship. It was a partnership that was genuinely changing things. Sports analysts who had dismissed the WNBA were now covering Fever games regularly. Music publications were suddenly interested in basketball. The crossover appeal was undeniable. As Clark's rookie season progressed, her connection with Swift only grew stronger. They celebrated each other's victories. Swift at Clark's games, Clark at Swift's concerts. When Clark broke the WNBA rookie scoring record, Swift was there, jumping up and down like any other fan. When Swift won another Grammy, Clark was among the first to congratulate her. Their impact started reaching beyond American shores. International basketball teams reported increased interest from young girls wanting to play. Swift's global fan base began paying attention to women's basketball. The ripple effect was incredible. Two women at the top of their respective fields were showing that success knows no boundaries. The media dubbed them the dynamic duo, but their friendship was more than just headlines. It was about showing that women can be competitive, successful, and supportive of each other at the same time. In a world that often pits women against each other, Clark and Swift were proving that collaboration beats competition every time. As we look toward the future, it's clear that this friendship has become something bigger than either of them probably expected. It's become a symbol of what's possible when women support women, when pop culture embraces sports, and when authenticity wins over everything else. Their story continues to inspire new chapters in both sports and entertainment. Other artists are following Swift's lead, showing up at women's sporting events. More athletes are feeling comfortable embracing their interests outside of sports. The barriers between different forms of entertainment are breaking down, and it all started with a basketball star who wasn't afraid to be a Swiftie. Looking back at that first meeting at Arrowhead Stadium, who could have predicted what would follow? A friendship that started with fandom has evolved into a powerful force for change, proving that sometimes the most impactful partnerships come from the most authentic places. And as for what's next? Well, with these two, anything seems possible. There are rumors of a documentary in the works, whispers of more collaborative projects, and endless possibilities for how they'll continue to influence both sports and entertainment. One thing's for sure. This is one friendship that's definitely not going out of style. This isn't just about two stars hanging out.